Creative Assembly has had a couple of live streams this year, which I think are really important. I said last year that I was cautiously optimistic for the arrival of 40k Total War, and these live streams, I think, are showing a good bit of promise for Creative Assembly itself and the upcoming titles. I'm not here to promise that the new games are going to be good, I just want to make that sort of abundantly clear to anyone watching. Creative Assembly has launched some absolute stinkers in the past. Empire, Rome 2 and Warhammer 3, all horribly broken and buggy on launch, with expectations certainly not even close to being met. But maybe, just maybe, we've turned a corner. I think there are signs of promise with these live streams that Creative Assembly have been doing. Firstly, they're showing the active development of Medieval 3 in these streams here. The footage is rough and janky and filled with grubby unit interactions, but this is a good thing. It's clearly not a marketing push. I think they're being honest and upfront with what they've currently got and how they're fleshing out the game. I think they're taking steps to actively engage with the community on the development of the title, and people will comment on these videos with their preferences for what the game should include, and the cream will rise to the top in terms of this community engagement. People will like the comments of things that people want, and then CA will have abundantly clear instruction on how to make Medieval 3 a good game. Like, the top comment is to give us back visible weapons and armor upgrades, which is an absolute slam dunk. This forgotten technology from Medieval 2 would be lovely to see again, and it's been a massive shame not seeing this kind of system implemented in other historical titles. Watching your smelly, leather-clad spear militias ascend to a chainmail-wearing, half-professional-looking fighting force was fantastic, and really added to the immersion in the game. With Medieval 3, I'm really hoping that they draw a lot of inspiration on the already excellent systems that are in Medieval 2. They've got the skeleton of a great game, and I'm going to make a video detailing my hopes and dreams for Medieval 3, so I won't go too much further into that here, but I think this live stream format is great, and I really want to sing CA's praises for doing it. I think it's a good step to repair the trust that has been broken over the course of the Warhammer 3 Dark Days and Pharaoh. I just want to make it clear that I don't think we're in the Dark Days now. I'm talking more like the Shadows of Change. There's still a lot of issues with Warhammer 3, and these issues not being addressed is the primary driver on why I couldn't recommend Tides of Torment. Sieges still being poor, the AI deciding to hole up 5 or 6 armies around a settlement and just sit there indefinitely. There's a plethora of other bugs as well, but I think this comes nicely onto the other live stream which they did, where they sat down with Roger Cullum, who's the Vice President of Total War, and he went through some questions and feedback which he received when he gave his end-of-year address last year. He provided his email address which you could send feedback to, so he went on stream and started addressing some of the feedback that he had received. Again, it's another nice olive branch to the Total War community, where they're pretty openly discussing issues that are affecting the game. Obviously, this doesn't fix Total War Warhammer 3 or the long-standing issues within the game, but I think it shows that they're at least taking them somewhat seriously, and they're trying to address them in a more transparent way. I critique CA rigorously because I really care about the games and their longevity. I love Total War and I love the Total War community, but I also want to take the time to praise CA when I think they're making good calls, and I think these streaming formats are one of their better ideas, and I think it's a good indicator for their future titles, namely 40k Total War and Medieval 3. Obviously, until I've got these games in my hands and I've actually played them, I'm reserving judgment, but I'm again cautiously optimistic for Warhammer 40k Total War, and funnily enough, the reason for that is mainly due to the existence of Dawn of War 4. At no point in Creative Assembly's Total War series has there been such a formidable direct competitor to their main product. I think probably the closest example I can think of is Imperial Glory, for the maybe 7 people who ever played that game. This was probably the closest CA got to a competitor for Empire Total War, and it was released many years before Empire did. I'm sure there's probably other examples which I don't know about or have forgotten, but to my knowledge I think this is the closest we've had to an almost complete substitute for a Total War game. Manor Lords is one that comes to mind. A lot of people were saying it was a total war killer, but I think it was more of a city sim with RTS elements. But that game released during Warhammer 3 and Pharaoh, which are pretty different niches. One is set in a fantasy universe and the other being set in the Bronze Age. Very separate sort of entities from Manor Lords. Dawn of War 4 is the exact same universe and a pure RTS, so there is a vast amount of overlap between these two titles. Now, will Dawn of War 4 have empire building? From what I've heard, I don't think so, but if you look at the expansions from the first Dawn of War, specifically Dark Crusade had a planetary empire building system within it, which I thoroughly enjoyed. I think Dark Crusade is maybe tied with Warcraft 3's The Frozen Throne for my most beloved expansion to a game, but what I'm trying to get at is, it may not be in the launch game. They may have a relatively linear mission format for the Dawn of War 4 campaign system, but who's to say it won't be added in the future? If the game is well received and there's calls for expansions, I could certainly see them spinning up a planet-wide campaign similar to Dark Crusade's campaign. But back to my point, there's no time which I can remember where such a formidable substitute product existed in Total War's space within such a close time frame. This will be a survival of the fittest for both games. If Total War 40k sucks, then people will simply go to Dawn of War. So this competition will put extreme pressure on CA to get this game right and polished and looked after. This is a great thing. If one of these games sucks, you can just go and play the other for a 40k strategy fix. This is a huge win for strategy gamers. The executives of CA will know this and be fearing it, so they better be doing everything they can to deliver a great game. Because if they don't, we, as gamers, have a very easy exit strategy. So direct competition is big fuel for my optimism. There's also the new engine for the next game, which I haven't seen enough of yet to make any kind of informed decision whether it's good or bad or somewhere in between, but it has given me hope that the new engine will address a lot of the legacy bugs which currently infest Warhammer 3. So that's why I think CA is in a new groove, and I'm kind of here for it. I'm not so jaded with CA that I can't muster optimism for their future titles. I think there's maybe some green shoots sprouting up from the cold Warhammer 3 winter. Whether CA can deliver on these titles remains to be seen. I'm not trying to hype these games up, I'm not telling you that they will certainly be good, but I do want to take the time to applaud CA for doing these sorts of streams, and I hope they do it for more of them. You guys are doing great work critiquing Creative Assembly and holding them to account, so keep critiquing, keep engaging with CA, and hopefully CA will keep doing these live streams and take more questions from the audience in the future. I think they're making good steps towards repairing relations with the community, and I'm really here for it. Also, just in terms of Blake's Takes and the channel, I finally managed to get a network upgrade completed in the house, so I'm now enjoying a hardwired internet connection. With this in mind, I'm now planning on doing live streams very soon. It takes a long time for me to edit my current videos. I'm simply not a very fast video editor, and I think live streaming will allow me to foster a better cadence in communications and allow me to continue to tell you more terrible dad jokes, puns, and classic Simpsons references. I imagine there'll be a lot of learning which I'll have to do on the job, so to speak, so I invite all of you to throw your critiques at me as I livestream, so I can get better and provide you with the content you want to see. Anyway, that's enough from me. I've been Blake, delivering my take. Thank you all so much for watching.